Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be able to share with you one of the most important people in my life. This is my father. I call him Abba. You can say hi everyone.
Hello, everyone. The peace and blessing of God be on you.
Yeah, so Abba is here visiting me in Houston. I was starting my new type of chemo, the Taxol and the Cyramza, and my mother and father wanted to come out and take care of me. Hannah, you want to?
Yeah, we're in here to support Nabeel, and actually, I really want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all who are supporting him, because this is trying times for all of us.
Did you want to maybe just give a piece of advice? There are a lot of people who are watching this who are either going through cancer themselves or are taking care of others. So as a father taking care of his child, is there some advice you want to give to others?
So my advice to you and everyone else is not to lose hope in God. Know that there is a loving God, and He's always there for you, and He does hear what you pray to Him. It's up to Him whether He want to accept it or not, and how He responds to it. But He is ever-present God, and He does this.
And it's really helpful to have family come and visit. I live in Houston. My Abba lives in Maryland, and so we're pretty far away. But in times like this, to do what you can to get together, to make the geography not an issue, because, like, for example, I know with my mom, she's the consummate caretaker. She wants to feed you and make sure you're clothed and make sure you're comfortable. It's just what Ummi is like. And so for me, on a normal daily basis, I'm thinking, okay, I'm eating enough and I'm taking care of myself. But then when you have someone like that with you, your mother, who's a great caretaker, then you realize, wow, I could have eaten a lot more calories because she's constantly following me and trying to give me more food. Or actually, my body is hurting because she wants to make sure I'm laying down and resting. And so to have loved ones with you, and then to be able to reminisce over stories and to make new memories as you're able to. We went shopping the other day. We got a recliner because my back's been hurting. And so we experienced some of that together.
Yeah, in this kind of situation where a person is high charger like Nabeel is, he's always on the go, and the mother in this case, is ever ready. Just focusing him back on, hey, take care of yourself too. You need to eat, you need to lay down, you need to get some rest. All those things. I think it takes a whole family to take care of someone who's especially a person like him.
It takes a lot of effort to take care of someone like me. I'm a pretty independent person, so I haven't really made it easy for Michelle or for my parents to take care of me because I like to have my independence and my freedom. But if you're going through this and you're getting chemo, you just have to lay some of that down, the independence, and receive the help from people and receive the love and make sure that you're still, because the moment you get the diagnosis, you kind of feel like life ends. Even if you've got, so mine was in August of last year. My schooling stopped. I was at Oxford. It just stopped. My plans for traveling and speaking stopped. My books that I was writing, it all just kind of stopped. And life sort of seems to end at that moment, which is a shame because it isn't over. And so you really have to do what you can to make sure that you continue walking forward in life and continue building new memories. And even as you're getting treatment, that you're still living. It's very important. One thing that happened a few weeks ago, something that I wanted to clarify, I was wearing this shirt. And apparently in the video, the whole thing didn't come through, and so some people misread it. I didn't think it was that big a deal until there was a Christian newspaper online that misread it. They posted this article, and it made it sound like I was saying, I got this. And the reality is, stage 4 stomach cancer, there's no way you've got this. I don't care who you are. They don't have the treatments figured out. The prognosis is extremely poor. In moments like this, you have to rely on God. And that's what this says. The shirt says, I got this, and then the quotes from God, Proverbs 3:5. And so I wanted to read that proverb here, keep this video on the shorter side, but I wanted to read this proverb and just talk about it briefly, and then ask Abba for any comments he has, and then we'll close out. So Proverbs 3:5 says this, and I'm again reading from the ESV. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. It goes really well with the next verse, so we'll go to the next verse as well. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. So it's a well-known proverb. A lot of people have heard this before, but in my case, it's very timely right now because I've been doing everything I can that I know of in order to address this condition, this disease, because you do research online and you see what are people saying about possible treatment plans, and there's so many different treatment plans out there. I'm not talking about the oncological treatment plan. I'm talking about the alternative remedies, the diets, the lifestyle choices and all that. So for example, you have some people who would say, don't eat any meat whatsoever, stop all meat. Then you have some people who say, well, no, just stop the red meat. And then you have some people say, no, get on a ketogenic diet, which is high in meat and fat and low in carbohydrates. And all of these have anecdotal or sometimes some studies that serve as evidence behind them. So for example, today I was on PubMed reading some studies that talk about how ketogenic diets can slow the progression of cancer. But then you have other people who are saying stay off meats altogether. And so when you have all of this going on, the best you can really do is use your mind to the best of your ability, talk to people around you, but you have to pray and you have to trust God. And also I've been reading through the scriptures on healing. I've been hearing lots of miracle stories about healing. I've been sharing some of them with my parents. I've been hanging around people who have seen miraculous healing as they've prayed for people. And so I'm pursuing that avenue as well. But as you pray and pray and pray, and for a time you see nothing happening, you can get very discouraged, you can get very disheartened, and you can say, God, why aren't you doing anything, right? I mean, that's the natural thought. Mentally, you know God is all-powerful, that he's sovereign, and that he's in control, but then your heart is thinking, God, I'm praying, why aren't you doing anything? All these people are praying, why aren't you doing anything? And this clash can come in. And where we need to rest, I think, is right back here in the text. Because he is doing something. He's doing things that you cannot see. And he's been behind the scenes for since the beginning of time. And he's never not been God. He's always been God. He's always been in control. And he's always done his job perfectly. And we have to rest in that. We have to trust in the Lord with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. At the end of the day, you end up resting on the sovereignty of God. And I read something, a quote from Spurgeon today saying, when you go through any adversity, I'm paraphrasing, but when you're going through any adversity, the sovereignty of God is the pillow on which you rest your head. And it's absolutely true. That's where you have to rest. At the end of the day, you fight, you do the best you can, you think, you research, you pray, you change your lifestyle and all that. But in the end, you have to trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding, knowing that he is, by definition, the best being in the entire universe. Everything is within his hands. He knows what he's doing. We have to rest in that and acknowledge him, and he will make straight our paths. So that's the verse that's referenced here on this shirt. Did you have any thoughts you wanted to share about before?
Well, my thoughts definitely are, well, as a Muslim, we believe in all the former scriptures that were revealed to different prophets. I really enjoyed listening to what you just said, and it completely resonates with my thought process that this is what I said in the very beginning, that there is an all-hearing, all-knowing, all-powerful God that is ever-present, and he does listen to what we request of him. How he chooses to implement that's his prerogative, and he's sovereign in that way. So don't lose hope, continue on, do your best, and he would make it fruitful, God willing.
I was just reading the next verse here, Proverbs 3:7. Be not wise in your own eyes, fear the Lord, and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. And so, as I'm pursuing healing, Here's a passage, I didn't even realize it, but Proverbs 3:8, it will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. So maybe there's something in here for physical healing that I didn't even plan on, and maybe God's bringing it to my eyes to just rest and trust Him. Hey, I get enough criticism from people. If you're in public ministry, you will realize you're going to get criticized left and right. And unfortunately, the vast majority of my criticism comes from Christians. And so I already know that doing a video with my father, who has said that he is Muslim and he's referencing his beliefs and scriptures and all that, I already know I'm going to get a ton of criticism saying, you know, why didn't you do X, Y, or Z? Why didn't you tell him right there on the video, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, send your letters, send your messages. I have prayed. My father and I have talked about these things. He knows where I stand. He knows I believe Jesus is Lord. He knows I believe that He's paid the penalty for our sins and rose from the dead as proof. He knows that that's what I believe. I don't have to bash him over the head with it every time we talk. And so that's why I also offer opportunities for prayer so that people can join us in prayer without feeling like they're being, you know, attacked.
There are some things that we agree to disagree on, and that's fine. I mean, every human being has a choice of who he wants to worship, and as far as a Muslim, Quran gives me that permission, that there's no compulsion in religion. So he has his choice, and he's following that part of the scripture.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
So we've talked about all these things before, and we disagree on quite a few things, and we can still do things like this together despite the fact that we disagree, and that's true love. You know, if you only do things with people that you agree with, then that's not really loving them through your disagreements. That's just, hey, you agree with them. It's easy to love people like that. But when you disagree and you understand, you've talked and talked, and you still disagree, but you love the person anyway, that's what love truly is. And so I really appreciate you coming on the video, Abba.
My pleasure. And once again, thank you to everyone, and peace be unto you. Everyone who's supporting him through this journey. It's a very painful journey, and God bless you for doing that.
All right, love you guys. Thanks so much for everything. A quick little update is I'm starting immunotherapy on Monday, so I get my third round of this new chemo on Monday, and then I'm going to get the immunotherapy starting on Monday as well, my first time with the immunotherapy. So please pray that would work. Some people have had miraculous results on immunotherapy. Not many, certainly not everyone, and the immunotherapy is only given a 40% chance of working at all. But some people, like I've said, have had miraculous results. My sister sent me a story of one man. It was Keytruda, it wasn't Opdivo, but when he started taking it, he started feeling pain in his stomach, and he thought, oh my goodness, this isn't working. But it turned out that was tumor lysis, that the tumor was all melting away. And without getting his stomach removed, stage 4 stomach cancer was healed. I think God works miracles even through medicine. And so I don't think the two are necessarily separate, medicine and miracles. I think God works miracles through medicine. That's what I'm praying for this upcoming treatment. So please join us in prayer for that. Thank you so much for everything. And I'll do another update video next week. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.